Men over the age of 40, 5 often notice changes that seem inevitable: slower energy, a softer body composition, difficulty in maintaining muscle, and a gradual decline in drive and vitality. Much of this can be traced back to the natural decline in testosterone levels, a hormone that at 25 is abundant and fuels strength, confidence, and resilience. But the decline does not have to be accepted as destiny. The body has remarkable capacity to restore and balance itself when we give it the right signals. The key lies not in expensive supplements or artificial replacements, but in simple, consistent habits practiced twice a day. Morning and evening routines act like bookends that signal to your body: it's time to produce, it's time to regenerate. When a man moves his body with intensity, even for short bursts, first thing in the morning, the brain sends messages to the testes to increase testosterone output. Resistance training, squats, push-ups, and even body weight exercises are potent triggers. At night, a different rhythm is needed: stretching, deep breathing, or a brisk walk after dinner lowers cortisol, the stress hormone that suppresses testosterone and sets the stage for high-quality sleep, the very time when the majority of testosterone is manufactured. Twice daily attention to sunlight is another overlooked trigger. Just 10 to 15 minutes of early morning sun on the skin and eyes helps regulate circadian rhythm, while evening exposure to natural light cues melatonin production. When melatonin rises properly at night, testosterone production follows in its natural cycle. Without this daily light rhythm, many men experience poor sleep and, consequently, poor hormone health. Nutrition is equally powerful. Twice a day, prioritize meals rich in healthy fats: avocados, nuts, seeds, olives, and oily fish. Cholesterol is not the enemy. It is the raw material from which testosterone is built. A breakfast with protein and fats, rather than processed grains, tells the body to stabilize blood sugar and keep insulin low. High insulin blocks testosterone production. In the evening, a balanced meal with protein and fibrous vegetables gives the body what it needs to repair muscle tissue overnight and to keep hormones balanced until morning. Stress management twice a day is non-negotiable. Just 5 minutes of controlled breathing, prayer, or mindfulness in the morning and again in the evening keeps cortisol at bay. High cortisol and high stress rob men of their hormonal vitality faster than age itself. A calm nervous system allows testosterone to flow freely. Morning resistance training is one of the most powerful natural stimulators of testosterone production for men over 40. 5. At this stage of life, the body often slows down and muscle mass begins to decline if it is not actively preserved. Resistance training, particularly in the morning hours, acts as a signal to the brain and the endocrine system that the body still needs strength, muscle, and vitality. The pituitary gland responds by sending messages that ultimately trigger the testes to produce more testosterone. This process is natural, safe, and sustainable, and it works far more effectively than waiting passively for the body to generate hormones on its own. When resistance training is done in the morning, it aligns with the body's natural hormonal rhythms. Testosterone levels are typically highest after waking, and physical exercise amplifies this surge. By engaging the large muscle groups with squats, push-ups, lunges, or weight training, the body is forced to adapt, and the adaptation includes increased testosterone production. Even short bursts of effort, such as a 15-minute circuit or a few sets of compound lifts, are enough to deliver this powerful hormonal signal. Unlike long, draining cardio sessions, resistance Based movements are specifically associated with better hormonal outcomes in men as they age. Another advantage of morning training is the effect on energy levels throughout the day. Men who begin with resistance training often notice that their metabolism is faster, their mental clarity is sharper, and their overall confidence improves. This is because testosterone not only supports muscle mass and bone density, but also influences mood, motivation, and mental resilience. Starting the day with these physical demands ensures that the rest of the day benefits from a hormonal environment closer to what a younger man would experience. It is important to recognize that intensity matters. The body will not respond with higher testosterone to casual or half-hearted movement. The exercises must create challenge and resistance. This does not mean lifting extremely heavy weights, especially for those who are untrained, but rather working to a point where the muscles feel genuinely tested. Bodyweight movements performed slowly and with control can be just as effective as dumbbells or gym equipment when done correctly. The key is consistent effort that signals to the body a strength is required. Therefore, testosterone must be produced. Recovery also plays a role. By exercising in the morning, men give themselves the entire day to nourish, hydrate, and recover from the session. This recovery period allows the muscles to rebuild, supported by proper nutrition, and this rebuilding phase is directly tied to testosterone levels. Skipping this type of training leaves the body with little reason to maintain high hormone levels, and over time, the decline becomes more pronounced. Morning resistance training, therefore, is not just about building muscle. It is a daily message to the body that youth and strength are still relevant. When done consistently, it rewires the body's priorities, ensuring testosterone is produced in greater amounts, preserving vitality, and helping men over 45 experience energy, focus, and drive that closely resemble those of their younger years. Evening movement and stretching play a crucial role in regulating hormones, particularly by lowering cortisol, the stress hormone that directly interferes with testosterone production. For men over 45, elevated cortisol can be one of the biggest barriers to maintaining healthy testosterone levels. While stress during the day may be unavoidable, the body needs a clear signal in the evening that it is safe to transition into a restful state. Gentle exercise, stretching, and mindful movement after dinner provide that signal, helping to calm the nervous system, ease tension in the muscles, and prepare the body for restorative sleep, during which the bulk of testosterone is produced. When the body carries stress into the night, cortisol remains high, and this not only suppresses testosterone but also disrupts sleep quality. Poor sleep then compounds the problem, as the natural production of testosterone is heavily dependent on deep, restorative rest. By engaging in evening movement, men can break this cycle. Even something as simple as a 20-minute walk after dinner has been shown to improve digestion, stabilize blood sugar, and gently lower stress hormones. These benefits create the internal environment necessary for optimal testosterone release during the night. Stretching is equally important, though often overlooked. Gentle stretches targeting the hips, hamstrings, back, and shoulders relieve the tension that accumulates throughout the day from sitting, driving, or working. This release is not only physical, but also neurological. Tight muscles send constant stress signals to the brain, keeping the body in a subtle fight or flight mode. When stretching is introduced, the brain receives a very different message, that the body is unwinding and preparing for recovery. This shift away from the stress response encourages the hormonal cascade that supports testosterone production. Evening movement does not need to be intense. In fact, high-intensity training too close to bedtime can have the opposite effect, spiking cortisol and making it harder to sleep. The goal at night is balance, enough movement to activate circulation and release tension, but gentle enough to calm the body. Activities such as yoga, Tai Chi, or even simple floor stretches, combined with deep breathing, are highly effective. These practices improve flexibility, reduce inflammation, and enhance the body's overall readiness for restorative processes during sleep. Breathing techniques can be paired with stretching to amplify the benefits. Slow, deep breaths while holding a stretch activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which lowers heart rate and reduces stress hormones. This creates an ideal hormonal environment before sleep, allowing testosterone to be produced more efficiently during the night. Many men who adopt this practice notice not only better rest, but also greater morning energy and improved recovery from their daily activities. The consistency of this habit matters more than duration. A short routine of stretching and light movement every evening is far more effective than long, irregular sessions. Over time, this nightly practice trains the body to associate evening hours with relaxation, repair, and hormonal balance. For men over 45, this is one of the simplest yet most powerful strategies to preserve and even increase testosterone levels naturally. Evening movement is not about burning calories. It is about sending the body the right message, reducing cortisol, and unlocking the hormonal potential that keeps men strong, vibrant, and youthful well into their later years. Twice daily sunlight exposure is one of the most overlooked yet powerful tools for supporting testosterone levels, especially for men over 45. The body's hormonal rhythms are deeply tied to the cycle of light and darkness. Testosterone production follows these natural rhythms, and when they are disrupted by artificial lighting, late nights, or lack of exposure to natural sunlight, the body's ability to generate optimal hormone levels declines. Restoring this connection to natural light, both in the morning and the evening, helps regulate circadian rhythm, improves sleep, and directly influences testosterone balance. Morning sunlight is particularly valuable because it sets the clock for the entire day. When sunlight hits the eyes and skin in the early hours, it signals to the brain that it is daytime. This suppresses melatonin, the hormone that makes us sleepy, and boosts cortisol in a healthy way, creating alertness and energy. Importantly, it also sets in motion the timing for melatonin production later at night. Proper melatonin release during the evening is essential for deep sleep. And deep sleep is the very window when testosterone is produced in the largest amounts. Without this morning light signal, the entire rhythm is disrupted, leading to poor sleep, low energy, and lower testosterone. Sunlight exposure on the skin also contributes to vitamin D production, which is directly linked to testosterone levels. Men with low vitamin D often show lower testosterone, and supplementation can help. But the natural synthesis of vitamin D through sunlight is far more effective. Just 10 to 15 minutes of exposure on the arms, face, and legs in the morning is often enough to boost vitamin D stores, supporting bone health, immune function, and hormone balance. For men over 45 whose vitamin D and testosterone may already be in decline, this is a simple but profound daily practice. Evening sunlight serves a different but equally important purpose. Exposure to natural light in the late afternoon or near sunset helps the body recognize the transition into night. The changing quality of light at dusk signals the brain to begin winding down and preparing for rest. This strengthens the circadian rhythm and ensures that melatonin rises at the right time, paving the way for deep, restorative sleep, because testosterone production is heavily dependent on the quality of sleep cycles. This evening exposure indirectly but powerfully supports hormone health. Beyond the hormonal benefits, twice daily sunlight also improves mood and reduces stress, both of which are tied to testosterone. Sunlight stimulates serotonin, the neurotransmitter that elevates mood and combats feelings of fatigue or depression. When serotonin is balanced during the day, it converts to melatonin more effectively at night, further supporting sleep and hormone regulation. This cycle creates a positive feedback loop. Good sunlight exposure leads to good sleep, which leads to healthy testosterone, which enhances energy and motivation for the following day. Modern lifestyles often rob men of this simple practice. Spending too much time indoors, working under artificial lights, or staying up late with screens disrupts the natural cues the body depends on. Reintroducing twice daily sunlight is like resetting the body's clock. It aligns hormone production with nature's rhythms, ensuring that testosterone is produced efficiently and consistently. For men over 45, these few minutes in the sun each morning and evening are not just refreshing. They're a powerful investment in vitality, strength and longevity. Healthy fats and protein. Focused meals are among the most vital dietary strategies for men over 40, 5 who want to maintain or restore testosterone levels. Testosterone is built from cholesterol and without an adequate intake of healthy fats. The body lacks the raw materials it needs to synthesize this crucial hormone. At the same time, protein provides the building blocks for muscle repair and growth, which further signals the body to sustain testosterone production. Together, fats and protein form the nutritional foundation for hormonal balance, energy, and vitality. In the morning, starting the day with a meal rich in protein and healthy fats sets the stage for stable energy and optimal hormone signaling. Eggs, avocados, nuts, seeds, olive oil, or a portion of salmon are excellent examples. When these foods are prioritized over processed carbohydrates such as cereals, bread, or pastries, blood sugar remains steady and insulin stays low. This is important because elevated insulin suppresses testosterone production, while balanced blood sugar promotes a favorable hormonal environment. For men over 45, who may already be more prone to insulin resistance, choosing fats and proteins in the morning protects both testosterone and overall metabolic health. During the evening, protein plays a particularly critical role. As the body prepares for rest, it shifts into repair mode. Muscles broken down during the day need amino acids to rebuild, and this rebuilding process is one of the signals that encourages testosterone release overnight. A dinner that includes lean protein such as chicken, fish or legumes, combined with fibrous vegetables and a modest amount of healthy fats, provides the perfect balance. This combination keeps digestion smooth, prevents late night blood sugar spikes, and ensures the body has the nutrients it requires to sustain anabolic processes during sleep. The type of fats consumed also matters greatly. Healthy, natural fats, such as those found in extra virgin olive oil, coconut oil, grass-fed butter, nuts, seeds, and fatty fish supply the cholesterol that testosterone depends on without the inflammatory effects of trans fats or heavily processed oils. Omega-3 fatty acids in particular reduce inflammation, improve cardiovascular health, and support cell membrane integrity, all of which enhance the body's ability to regulate hormones effectively. On the other hand, avoiding processed vegetable oils, fried foods, and excessive sugar is essential, as these foods contribute to inflammation, weight gain, and disrupted hormone balance. Protein intake should be consistent throughout the day, not just confined to one meal. Each serving of protein provides a steady supply of amino acids, maintaining muscle and keeping testosterone production stimulated. For men over 40, preserving lean muscle mass is critical, as muscle itself helps regulate hormones, improves insulin sensitivity, and supports energy levels. Without enough protein, the body tends to lose muscle more quickly with age, and testosterone naturally follows that downward trajectory. The balance of fats and proteins twice daily is not about strict dieting, but about giving the body what it fundamentally needs to function at its best. By replacing empty calories and processed foods with nutrient, dense proteins and healthy fats, men create the conditions for steady energy, mental clarity, and sustained testosterone production. Over time, these consistent dietary choices act as a powerful message to the body. Strength and vitality are still necessary, and hormone production must rise to meet that demand. For men seeking to reclaim the vitality of their younger years, this shift in daily meals is one of the most powerful and sustainable steps they can take. Hydration and cold exposure are two surprisingly simple, yet highly effective tools for supporting testosterone levels, particularly for men over 45. Both practices work by sending strong biological signals to the body, encouraging it to optimize hormone production and maintain a state of resilience. While hydration provides the foundation for every metabolic process, including hormone synthesis, cold exposure acts as a powerful stressor that stimulates the body to adapt in beneficial ways. Together, they create an internal environment that is more favorable for testosterone and overall vitality. Proper hydration is often underestimated in its impact on hormones. Testosterone, like all hormones, depends on efficient cellular function and communication, and this cannot occur without adequate water intake. Blood volume, nutrient transport, and detoxification all rely on water. When the body is even slightly dehydrated, cortisol rises and testosterone drops. For men over 45, who may already be more prone to dehydration due to lower thirst signals, this can create a silent but significant drain on hormone health. Starting the day with a glass of water after waking replenishes what is lost during sleep, helps circulation, and ensures the endocrine system can operate efficiently. Continuing hydration throughout the day with pure water rather than sugary drinks or excessive caffeine maintains the steady support for hormone production. Cold exposure, on the other hand, works by stimulating the nervous system in short, controlled bursts. When the body is exposed to cold, whether through a shower, a cold plunge, or even splashing cold water on the face, it experiences a brief stress response. This activates the vagus nerve and stimulates norepinephrine release, which not only improves alertness, but also has been linked to higher testosterone output. Cold exposure encourages the body to adapt by increasing resilience, improving circulation, and reducing inflammation, all of which support hormone balance. Unlike chronic stress, which suppresses testosterone, this kind of acute, controlled stress actually strengthens the body's systems and triggers positive adaptations. Morning is an excellent time for cold exposure because it pairs well with the body's natural hormonal rhythms. A short cold shower after hydration can wake up the nervous system, increase energy, and provide a natural boost in testosterone that carries into the day. Evening cold exposure, if kept brief and not overly stimulating, can also reduce inflammation from the day's activities and promote recovery. This dual approach, hydrating in the morning and evening, combined with cold exposure at one or both times, sends consistent messages to the body that strength and resilience are required. The combination of hydration and cold exposure creates a powerful feedback loop. Hydration ensures that the body's tissues and organs can perform their tasks efficiently, while cold exposure provides the stimulus for hormonal adaptation. For men over 45, this is especially valuable because it requires little time, no special equipment, and can be seamlessly integrated into daily routines. These practices may seem small, but their cumulative effect on testosterone levels, energy, and overall vitality can be profound. By practicing them consistently, men remind their bodies daily that youth, vigor, and hormonal strength are still necessary, and the body responds by rising to that demand.